Hear the case today. I have a statement instructions by which we make our decisions. This is a public hearing, and we are the Zoning Board of Adjustment for Putnam County, Florida. We operate under the authority of Articles 11 and 12 of the Land Development Code as amended. The primary responsibility of the board is to hear and decide appeals challenging final determinations made by the Planning and Development Services Department under the Land Development Code, and to hear and act upon requests for variances, special use permits, non-conforming use determinations, and preliminary development plans under the Land Development Code. Today we have a variance, so I will read that section. A variance is a relaxation of the requirements of the zoning code in a particular case where, because of unusual circumstances, a literal enforcement of our zoning code would result in undue or unnecessary hardship. The zoning code permits us to authorize variances only for height, size of structure, size of yards, and open spaces. If we grant a variance, we may impose reasonable conditions on the use of the property, which must be satisfied if the variance is to remain valid. The standards we use in deciding whether or not to grant a variance are listed in Section 45-833 of the Land Development Code. Today, we do not have a special use permit, so I'm skipping that section. Procedurally, we will call each case by name and number. A member of the staff will then briefly explain to us the nature of each request. We will then take any comments from the applicant or their representative, followed by any public comments concerning the request. Please direct all comments or statements to the board and not to other people in the audience. Before speaking, we will ask each person to be recognized, come forward to the lectern, identify his or herself by name and address. After all persons wishing to speak have been heard, we will entertain a motion from the board. The motion will be voted on by the board members and become our final order. Any decision made by this board can be appealed to the circuit court. However, any appeal must be filed within 30 days after the Board of Adjustments has rendered the final order which is being appealed. Are there any questions? Before the first case is heard, all of those wishing to speak today need to be sworn in, so will the notary please administer the oath? Okay, the first case today is variance 22-003, and staff ready?
Yep. Good afternoon, Madam Chair. Make sure this thing's on. This is a application by applicant Thomas Burrier for location property at 159 Maze Cove Road. Future land use designation of agriculture, and the parcel also has a zoning district of agricultural estate. Subject parcel is approximately 1.38 acres and is located within the Riverview Farms Estates unrecorded subdivision and is vested to the density requirements of the comprehensive plan. The lot meets the dimensional requirements of the zoning district and can be permitted a single-family dwelling unit, provided adequate roadway and drainage infrastructure are in place as a condition of the vesting determination and land development code amendment requirements.
Joseph, excuse me, can you speak into the mic a little bit closer?
Let me try that. Hang on.
I'm either going deaf or
I'll just
can't
hold
hear.
it. Is that this issue?
Thank you.
Okay, is that better?
That's
Feel
better, much better.
Okay, the subject parcel, a large portion of it is located within a FEMA flood zone or special flood hazard area and the flood zone AE. It maintains wetlands in the rear of the property for, say, approximately half of the parcel. The Department of Environmental Protection has mandated that the owner can only build 100 feet from the very front property line or along the roadway. The applicant is requesting a variance to allow an accessory dwelling unit to exceed the maximum 1,000 square foot allowance per section 45-110 subletter F of the Land Development Code. He's looking for an increase from 1,000 square feet to approximately 1,080 square feet. That would be located over the footprint of his proposed garage. There is a building permit in for staff review for the primary residence, and the applicant states that all materials and engineered drawings have already been purchased and would not be able to afford to redesign those plans to meet that 1,000 square feet maximum square footage. Here's an aerial of the parcel, the Riverview Farm Estate subdivision. As you can see, two of the parcels adjacent are not developed with single-family homes. However, further to the west, there are several single-family dwelling units. The parcel is zoned agricultural estate, as well as the surrounding properties to the south, to the east, and to the west, properties, or St. Johns Rivers to the north. The land use is agricultural, as well as surrounding parcels. The wetlands map I tried to draw, I don't know if you can see the screen or not, I tried to draw somewhat of a delineation of where the wetlands end and the developable upland area that Mr. Burrier has located along Mays Cove Road. I'll leave that up for a second if you guys want to take a peek at it. So the applicant meets 1 out of 6 of the variance criteria that's supposed to prove that there's a substantial hardship. Staff has recommended denial based on that the applicant is only meeting 1 of those variance criteria. However, this variance is the only relief for this, the maximum allowable square footage for an accessory dwelling unit. And staff doesn't really see any detriment to the surrounding area or the public. That concludes my presentation. I'm here to answer any questions. The applicant's here to present as well.
Okay, I got a question. You said he has a building permit for the primary residence, and does he not have a building permit for the garage?
He's got a building permit submitted for the primary residence. I believe you're waiting to submit the building permit for the garage until this.
He's waiting to submit the building, but even though it's already started?
Correct.
Okay,
It's under review. The permit's under review right now.
okay. All right. Was wondering if there was no, right now, he's just submitted the permit for the garage then? Okay.
I don't believe have you submitted a permit for the garage, sir?
No, the garage is a separate permit.
Right,
Okay.
it's a separate permit. The only one we came across was the one for the primary dwelling unit.
Okay, well, I'm just curious from the standpoint of, I know how did he get the garage started to begin with no permit?
He didn't get the garage started. There's nothing developed out there. He just purchased all the materials and paid for all the drawings to be engineered for his current site layout. So he's
Did I see the wrong place? Because what I saw today had already started a stem wall. Did I not visit the right place?
159 Mays Cove Road.
That is for the home.
Okay, well, you can answer that in just a few minutes. I want the staff to
I think
answer.
that's the right place.
It has to be the right place.
What I saw was, he had concrete blocks set
Well, that's part-
around where the garage, but there's. no
Right, but
footers
okay.
dug or
But it
anything,
looked like it was already
around.
set, but maybe they were just laid in place?
Yeah,
There
that's
shouldn't
what I
be
thought.
anything out there for the garage. The only thing that has been reviewed is the home, single-family residence.
Okay, well, I would guess maybe,
I mean, and I'm just saying there shouldn't be. I'm not saying there isn't. I haven't been out there to the site recently, so.
And there was no sign.
I took it that it was just blocks laid out.
it could have been just blocks laid out, but it looked like they already had a perimeter set up, so
Okay.
maybe it's just,
I walked up to the site.
well, I was
And-
as close to it as I can get it without getting out of the car, so,
Yeah.
going through the ditch, so,
Right.
and the dirt. Okay,
Oh, no.
all right. Any other questions from staff? Okay, all right, thank you. All right, it's Mr. Okay, wait a minute, before you come up, I'm getting ahead of myself. We need to do a site visit roll call. And before, if anybody had the opportunity to speak with the applicant, you need to reveal it as an ex parte communication today, okay? All right, just do a site visit roll call, please.
Rob Allenby,
Yes, I was there.
Mark Fisher,
Yes,
Linda Osborne.
Yes.
TJ Smith,
Yes.
Linda Bizarre,
Yes,
Ron West,
Yes.
Amy Stanley.
Yes. Okay, Mr. Barrow, would you like to come up and
Yes, I would.
add anything to what was the staff had to report? And for the records, please give us your name and address.
My name is Tom Burrier. I currently reside at 10 Sea Green Path in Palm Coast, Florida. I'd like to thank the board and the staff for taking the time to review the application. What had happened when I initially submitted, the building department told me I could submit for the house and the garage. It's a detached garage with a bedrooms and above it. So I submitted it as one permit, and they said it would take about 3 to 4 weeks to get the permit issued. It took a lot longer than 3 or 4 weeks. It took about 9. But the upshot of that was at the very tail end of it, several weeks into waiting on the permit, they said to resubmit separate permits, one for the home and one for the garage. And then that I would need a variance because I exceeded the 1,000 square feet by 80 square feet. So I did that. I withdrew the original permit and I resubmitted a separate permit for the home, and I have not submitted a permit for the garage. There has been no construction on the garage whatsoever. What you see at the site now is a stem wall for the house only and other building materials. Some of those building materials are the trusses that were purchased. Lead times in construction are very long now for anything, block, doors, windows, wood products. So I had called several times after I submitted for the permit, 3 and 4 weeks after I submitted for the building permit, to ask if there were any issues or if everything was going smoothly, and nobody ever returned my calls or did anything. So I came down in person several times, and all they would tell me was that it's being reviewed, it's being reviewed. So in the interim time, having no bad news, and still at this point, they had not made me resubmit 2 separate permits. I still thought I was under one permit. I hadn't heard anything, so I went ahead and ordered building materials. The trusses alone for the garage, the floor trusses and the roof trusses on the second floor, were $20,500. In addition to that, I incurred the costs of the drawings and the engineering for that structure. That was several $1,000s. I went ahead and at that point, we're about 8, 9 weeks later, they finally issued the permit for the home, and that is the only construction I've done. So I really don't have the resources to throw away $20,000 worth of trusses and plans and engineering. So I'm asking the board to consider allowing an increase from 1,000 square feet to 1,080 for that accessory structure, being a garage below and bedroom for my grandchildren and an office above.
Okay, correct me about the septic and the water system. Both structures can be on the same system? Or does it have to be a separate system for the accessory structure?
I think it has to be a separate, sorry.
When I permitted the septic system, they were well aware of an accessory structure of that size, 1,080 square feet with a bedroom and a bathroom, as well as a 3-bedroom home, 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath home. That entire system was designed and built for both structures. And that permit was issued by the state of Florida, and I'm in complete compliance with that.
That's correct, Madam Chair. If I may.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me in this?
Yeah.
Okay. They can be on the same system.
Okay, because above the 100 feet setback, is that, I was wondering if that's going to create any issues with the wetlands and/or the distance
So-
between well and septic.
I believe that the order from FDEP does not allow more than a 100-foot encroachment. So there's a line that was drawn that's 100 feet from the property line,
Okay,
the eastern property line, and beyond that, there can be no development activity whatsoever.
I mean, that was what I was reading.
Correct,
Okay.
yeah. So he'll have to, the septic and well will have to be spaced according to FDOH requirements, which I think has already been done.
Yes, it has.
Okay.
The well has been dug and the septic system has
Right.
been installed. It's all within the 100 feet
Right.
requirement by the DEP. Yes, sir.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay, I have another question. If the section 45-110 says no more than 1,000 feet, what happened to the builder who submitted an application knowing it was 1,080 square feet?
What? Oh, I'm sorry. Goodness, this thing.
I am that builder. I'm a state certified general contractor. I
So
submitted myself.
you're the one who is building your own house, but you did not know the rules as far as the 1,000 square feet without getting a variance?
No, ma'am, I did not know that. And like I said, when I initially submitted for several weeks, there was no issue being raised. So I went ahead and purchased the materials.
And you're a certified builder for the state?
Yes, ma'am, I'm a
Okay.
state certified general contractor.
So I'm sorry, your question was about the 1,008?
1,080 square
Oh,
feet. I
80,
said
okay.
as a person or the builder, why, and when the permit was submitted, knowing that the section 45-110 says no more than 1,000 square feet without a variance, how did it get permitted? You know,
Oh, it would not. That's why ultimately they required a separate permit. Normally, you can couple the permit, or couple the two requests in one permit, but in order to allow his home to go forward without being delayed by this part,
okay, that's the reason they kicked it back and said you have to have another permit for the
Correct.
accessory structure.
Right.
Okay,
No,
that was the clarification, so,
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
and I guess you know now, right?
Yes, ma'am. I certainly do.
Okay, any other questions from staff, for staff and/or Mr. Burrow?
If he didn't have this
Your
accessory.
mic's not on, I don't think.
It is
I think
Yes,
there's,
I can't hear you.
not working
IT,
well
would
today.
you mind raising the sensitivity of the mics? There's something.
Yeah,
Can you hear me now?
better.
No.
It's
A little
better.
bit.
Okay.
It's not catching your voice very well.
Yeah. It's
So
not.
if you didn't have the accessory dwelling unit, would the garage be in compliance?
Yes. Yes, it's only the accessory dwelling unit.
The
That's,
second floor is causing the problem. The garage is fine. That's what I was told.
Okay, all right.
This is on the second floor of the garage.
Yes, sir.
It's no additional footprint on the ground.
No, sir.
So where's the extra 80 feet going? In midair? No.
Well, it's on the second floor.
It's the second floor.
Yeah, is it going to extend?
Oh, no, it's not. The garage is 1,080 square feet.
The garage is 1,080 square feet.
And then the
so
second floor
that poses no
is
problem.
the same
Okay.
footprint. So it is
Okay,
now
and 'cause-
1,080 square feet.
So it sounded like the garage was 1,000 square feet, and I'm thinking, where's the other 80 square feet going? Okay, all right. Thank you for the clear. Any other questions? Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, sir. I still have to ask the question, even though there's no one else in the audience today, other than the applicant. So anyone wishing to come forward and speak in favor, and I'm going to say and/or opposition. At this time, no one is coming forward, so at this, we will close this section to the public and open it up for board discussion and motion.
Madam Chair, I would like to make a statement.
Okay.
The problem here should have been picked up early on, and it wasn't. Is it the contractor's fault? Is it who drew up the plans? It's their fault? Is it the planning and zoning department fault? We don't know. I don't care. With the letter from her neighbor, or from his neighbor, saying that it's all right, everything being the same size, there's no added footprint or anything like that. 80 square feet is not that much. And although planning and zoning would like to see it turned down, my opinion is we should keep it. We should allow it.
Well, that, I think, that should be discussed after we have a motion and a second, and then we go to discussion,
All right.
okay? So,
I will make a motion since I put my glasses on here.
okay,
I move we approve variance number V 22-003 as it meets the criteria for a variance as required by section 45-833 of the Putnam County Land Development Code, with the one condition. And authorize the sheriff to sign the final order.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and second to approve variance 22-003. Is there further discussion? Now, go ahead.
Now-
You can repeat if you want to, but.
I doubt if I can repeat it, but I will try. This is a minor problem that I feel should be picked up either by the contractor, by the, whoever designed the building, or planning and zoning. I don't care who made the error, but it was an error. Since there is no added footprint, you're not going to see this 80 square feet. I say we should go ahead and approve it, because if we had been a little more,
Due diligence.
no, if we had been a little faster, we would have picked this up and let him know earlier on. And he could have changed his plans before all the trusses and everything were built.
Okay. Anybody else? Any further discussion? Okay, since we have a motion and second to approve, all of those in favor indicate by raising your right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Motion carries 6-0. Okay. Good luck on your building project, but there is also a 30-day appeal process, just in case somebody couldn't make it to the meeting today, so I'm sure the staff will keep you informed. And good luck.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time. Thanks, sir.
You're welcome.
Madam Chair.
Okay.
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
may I address a point? I just wanted to clarify that while we did put in we recommended denial, it was merely because the code requires compliance with all of the criteria. This is something that we're looking at with the land development code revisions that we're going to be starting very soon to try to loosen the requirement here so that we don't have a predicament where someone just has 80 extra square feet and they have to apply for a variance that we then have to recommend denial for because they
Right.
don't meet the criteria.
Okay.
So that it'll come up in the land development code rewrite and or revisions, and we plan on addressing it there.
Okay.
And the ZBOA will be included in, I should say, I invite the ZBOA members to participate in the revision process to make recommendations for areas that need changing
Okay.
in the land development code.
Sounds fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have any
Minutes?
new business or any more? Anything else? Okay, if not, then we have the minutes for the April 20th, 2022 meeting. Has everybody had a chance to read them?
Move they be approved as read.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of April 2022. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Okay, I guess that's it for the day.
Move we adjourn.
Where have we adjourned yet?
So moved.
All right, so moved. Great job.
Personal opinion, I think we need more homes like that in Putnam County.
I do too. Well,
I think it was just a technicality.
I don't wanna
You know, I
throw-
kept reading and going, what